Hello and welcome to Review Revolution and my first impressions video of Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice. Now this is really early in-game footage, and as you can hear the sort of voices in the head, the concept is so freaky. Just listen.
Whatever horrors lie behind that door, she must find him.
So this game involves like psychosis and how this is affecting this protagonist Senua's mental state. It involves sort of just basic combat, heavy light attacks, blocking, parrying. Good combat system, I think, and there's a lot of puzzles, like rune-based puzzles and such.
You took him from me. I beg you, let him go. I'll give you what you want. I won't resist anymore. Just give him back.
So I think there's a strong look graphically here. But yeah, you can see narratively it's going to be quite a difficult game at times, I would think. Real tough themes that this game deals with mental illness. And now you're about to see a bit of combat. See, it's good, like, I like the strikes feel really impactful. But yeah, it's a good combat system. Not the most complicated in the world, but it's going to take some time to get it, master it right. Especially when you have 2 or 3 enemies at once. It makes it really difficult. But the voices in your head do help you, which is a really clever way to do a game. Yeah, and this is just explaining the permadeath mechanic. Is when this rot on her arm gets to her head, you're supposed to lose your save file. But I've heard conflicting reports about that. Some people say no, it's just the developers playing with you and the reviewers. But we'll see. This game can be quite vicious.
A vision of what's to come. Poor Senua. The darkness does not bargain, and does not reason. It is wrought, and now it has taken hold. It will spread towards her head.
You can see there's really good facial animations and stuff like that. It's certainly the voice acted well as well. So yeah, Ninja Theory seems to have done a really good job on this game so far. I mean, I have had a few sort of little frame rate drops, and I've heard the optimization may be a slight issue. This is just explaining the whole permadeath mechanic thing. I don't know if it's true. There's yeah, like I was saying earlier. Hopefully I'll find out.
The hardest battles are fought.
Yeah, but as a half-price game, I mean, you don't seem to be compromising on visuals. It's a very narratively driven game and quite linear. But if you, I don't mind that. Like I like the open world games, but occasionally you want a nice linear experience, a narrative telling you a story.
She still has control of her mind. And she will fulfill her vow. Whatever the cost.
Listen to me, Senua. The goddess Hela lies behind the gate to Helheim. To open the gate, you must first face the gods that guard it. The god of fire, Surt, and the god of illusion, Valravan. Spill their blood to open the gate to Helheim and enter the land of the dead.
It's very clever to explain the narrative through the voices in Senua's head. And you can find these little things that give you a bit of like background story.
Bitter cold to the north, fiery hot to the south. They say the cold formed ice, which melted from the sparks from the south. Surt, the fire giant, has answered. He comes from a land older than mankind. And the Northmen call upon his flaming sword to raise their enemies. Fight the giant. That's right, the coward. But you weren't expecting that. Find him, Senua. And spill his blood.
As you can see, the visuals are quite good. I like the nice lighting effects coming through the tree. The Unreal Engine 4 is looking good. Ninja Theory has done well with it.
For he was not long for this world. Like her, who spoke of his own darkness.
So this is just exploring to the side of the to find a little again these little stones that give out some background story to the lore of the game.
Before the earth was created, there was a world called Muspel. Because it was in the south, it was bright, hot, flaming, burning. Sparks that flew out from Muspel became the stars. Other sparks.
So it's an interesting way to tell the story.
Creating the body of the first giant, Ymir.
Yeah, liking this game so far. I will be working on the full review once I complete the game, because as you all know, you should only do a review on especially a narrative game like this, on a game that you have finished. I mean, there are exceptions to that rule, because you'll never complete a whole certain open world games. You'll never finish every inch of that game, will you? But certainly on a linear game like this, there is no excuse to do a full review without finishing the game. So we're just coming up to a puzzle, and there's a lot of these puzzles in the game, and I'm not a massive fan of them, to be honest. There's no real challenge, you just end up walking around the environment. Oh, sorry, there's a bit of combat first. Then you'll see the puzzles. Nice sword strikes there. See, I like the look of the combat. It's animated very well. But he got me. A little bit of clipping there through the ground, wasn't there? You see the rot growing. So I go back to the combat area. Hopefully I'll do it this time and can show you the puzzle. I was just checking the controls. Wanted to know what the block was before I got back into combat at this point. Because again, I'd only been playing this game for 20-25 minutes at the time. My first impressions videos are first impressions and should be taken as such. But yeah, look at those lighting effects. Pretty cool. Let's back to the combat. Yeah, so it's nice, vicious combat, really, isn't it? It's quite brutal, which I do like. Let's figured out the block, look. Another one coming. See, they appear out of nowhere, and with the and then they disappear once you beat them. So is it her battling her own demons is going to be like the metaphor going here? I imagine. And now we get onto the puzzle. We need to find these two in the environment. And the first one's easy to find, but for me, I don't necessarily like the puzzles. It's the worst aspect of the game so far for me. Because you just end up just walking around trying to line up. Like, yeah, this. I don't see the appeal personally. It took me a little bit of time to find the end. And like, I'm just walking around trying to line it up with random things. It's just, I get there eventually. I mean, yeah, but for me, it's just not the greatest puzzle system. It's a nice idea, implemented okay. It's just, I didn't find it that fun. Or I'm not finding them that fun. It took me so long. Eventually, the game starts helping me out with some visual aids, which you will see. Which again makes all the puzzles. Is there a point to the puzzles? I don't know. Maybe it'll all tie in at the end of the game. But you'll see in a minute. That the visual aid, it starts just kicking in because it's like you're taking too long to find this puzzle. It's somewhere this way. And you find it so, yeah. Yeah, so yeah, it's a nice concept, but yeah, not for me. Just frustrating for me and slows down the pace of the game quite a bit. And now the door's open, so it's kind of like, well, was that really worth it? I don't think so. Instead of just letting me open the door and get on with the narrative, is it just a way to extend the length of the game without having to do any work? That would be a bit of a cynic's view on it, but perhaps.
Look towards the gate, and you will see that it has When they first came to my lands, I knew enough of their tongue to beg for mercy, and they took me as I wish now that they had slaughtered me like the others. I rode their storm of fire, death, slavery to many lands. This darkness you speak of, I know it well.
Right, so now walking up to the next area. And there's a pretty sort of some really cool visuals, so I'll just show you this bit. If it's the area I'm thinking of course. With the fire puzzle. Yeah, it is. So there's a bit of combat down here, but this is where they start introducing 2 enemies at once, so I do die again. See, if anyone finds out the permanent death mechanic is real, it will be me. I am terrible at video games. I just love playing them. Yeah, see now the difficulty increases quite a lot when there's 2 attacking at once.
Don't give up. Don't give up.
And yeah, it got me again.
It's not over. No, hide.
I do beat him in the end. Might be on the next run, hopefully. Looking at, yeah, sorry about this. Just doing a total biscuit there and showing you the options menu.
It's nearly over. Finish it.
See, the enemies are quite scary and do look pretty cool, I would say.
You won.
It's me just learning how to deal with 2 enemies at once. And the voices in your head out, which is pretty cool. Just like, do I die again? I can't remember.
She's hurt. She's injured. She won't make it. Behind you.
Got him.
You won.
Got him with the parry.
They're overwhelming her. They're surrounding her. She's going to live.
Hopefully, There's some pretty cool moves, like when you time a parry just right. It looks cool. And then, yeah, I did beat him this time. So I didn't die.
When you see a fire gate of soot, know that only a sacrifice will stoke the fires of Muspel and let the dead walk through. Find the fire, Senua, to follow the path to soot.
Right, this is just a cool little bit coming up. Just visually, I wanted you to see it before I signed off. But yeah, I found this a little bit annoying. But I'll get there eventually. But yeah, it's worth watching just for the visuals at the end. So once again, I've been Review Revolution. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. See you again soon for the next video, and we'll be working on the full review over the next week.
Hell will not give you the answers you want. But you mustn't look away from the horrors it does offer. Because you cannot overcome suffering if you refuse to look at it.